This is Roger Stone for American Sovereign Bullion. Since 2020, the U.S. dollar has lost over 20% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to rise. Call 844-272-2428 or go to asbgold.com now to get your free gold and silver guide and learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver delivered to your door or held in a gold IRA today. So go to asbgold.com now. Don't wait for the markets to drop. That's asbgold.com.
Excuse me! Taxi!
Come on, what are you doing? This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, of course, everybody now wondering with the deadline with President Trump. Now we're just a little over 2 hours away. So what's going to happen tonight? And what about threats to the homeland? And what about some of the people who are already here in our country? Well, joining us now is Charles Marino. He's a former Homeland Security Department advisor, also former Secret Service agent. Charles, your thoughts, first of all, how big are the threats to the homeland right now, and especially as we're heading into what could be a very pivotal night in the war?
Well, right now, Rita, I think the country faces more threats from more places at any time in our history as a country. And we know that these global events all have a direct impact against the country and our threat level here and the required preparation that we need. Now, we're also on the heels of 4 years under the Biden administration of allowing the country to be infiltrated with many of those threats from around the world. So they now reside within our own borders.
Is any of our cities in the United States under red alert or anything?
Well, we don't do the colors anymore. I actually helped transition to the new system that we use, the National Terrorism Advisory System. An elevated bulletin has not been issued by the Department of Homeland Security. I believe that there should be an elevated bulletin that gets sent out. I believe that law enforcement and the American people need to be on the same page when it comes to not only the threats against the country, but also how to prepare and help mitigate those threats against themselves and their families. I think law enforcement is already operating in many places like New York City, for example, at that elevated level, but it's not been formally adjusted by DHS. And I think the time has come, especially based on the increase in actions against Iran. I think that needs to happen.
You know, Charles Marino, Homeland Security Advisor, this is shocking to me, Charles, that these people were in our country. We found out about the niece and the grandniece of Soleimani, who was taken out, the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps general, and they were living among us. And we know that Rubio just announced that he's revoking the green cards. Then in the last few hours, there was the son of the woman known as Screaming Mary. This is the woman who was screaming every day when our hostages, the 444 days our hostages were held in the 1970s in Iran. And I just read this too, Charles. I couldn't believe this. The son's father, the same, obviously the mother was out there screaming against America every day. Very famous face. And then the father was actually in the room when our Americans were being tortured. And this guy is a professor right now in California. How is that possible?
Yeah, well, we see, especially during the Biden administration, how all of these, what are normally legal pathways into the United States, were exploited and undercut. Things like asylum, temporary protective status, and these visas having to do with education and tourism. They were all undercut, not enforced. Those that were coming in, not vetted, which is why you're seeing the Trump administration do the right thing now and really crack down, and in some cases terminate things like asylum requests that were found to be fraudulent or temporary protective status where there's just no way to vet people from certain parts of the world. But, I think the American people would be surprised, Rita, on how many of our adversaries have people here in the United States participating in many universities around the country. And many are directly related to the people that run these adversarial countries. I think Iran is a great example. China, as we know, Under Biden's open borders, we saw an over 2,000% increase in Chinese nationals, males ages 18 to 45. I can assure you that should be concerning for everybody, as it is to me, on the threat that poses, not only for intellectual property theft and things like that, but also to begin a targeting of critical infrastructure and other things should a conflict with China arise. Why not start a war against us from right inside our own country?
Right, a sleeper cell. Judge Weinberg.
See, I think you're exactly right, Charles. And I'll tell you what troubles me. Why are we still allowing the Chinese to buy land near our military bases? Why are we still training engineers at our great universities for the Chinese to exploit them, to use them here, or to go back to China and use their knowledge against us? Why are we doing these business deals with them that allow them to have total control of our need for chips when they're threatening Taiwan? Why do we allow this? They're in a state of war against us. What does it take for us to recognize that and to do something about it?
Well, and let me ask the question this way. How easy is it for one of us to go visit China or go visit Russia? Do they not secure their borders? Do they not enforce their immigration laws? Of course they do. The United States is one of the most lax countries in the world when it comes to our actual border security and immigration laws. And that needs to be changed. We're seeing big changes here under the Trump administration, and rightfully so. You can't have anything close to Homeland Security without a secure border and enforcing the laws of this country. So what we saw under the Biden administration was really the anomaly. And I'm speaking about previous administrations, both Democratic and Republican. Never did you see anyone walk away from their federal responsibilities of protecting this country the way the Biden administration did.
I agree. And none of them have been held accountable. And yet today they're talking about, the Democrats are talking about impeaching Trump. Mayorkas sailed through. They knew what they were doing. And to this day, no one on that regime, 20 million people plus coming into this country, have been held responsible. It's a travesty.
The border was closed. We're safe. There's no problem.
Right. With a smile. It's frightening. Yeah. Charles, thank you so much. We love you. Really appreciate it, Charles. Thank you.
Rita.
Thank you.
Good to be with you both. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sacco and Felix, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFilas.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.